I am confident in certain things, but I would never say to myself that I'm a confident person.
Interesting, because we view you that way. And I think you should view yourself that way too.
I'm working on it. There are things that I am confident in and I'm proud of, but there's other areas that I need to work on.
Life's a work in progress.
I'm not going to have it figured out at 39 years old.
Pull up a chair. You're sitting at the table with Powerhouse Women, the podcast where bold women in business come to connect, collaborate, and build something bigger than themselves.
We always say, if you're fortunate to have a seat at the table, pull up 3 more. That's exactly what we're doing here.
This isn't just a conversation, it's a movement. We're creating space at the table for conversations that matter. The ones that challenge you, push you, and remind you that you do not have to do this alone.
Every episode, we're talking growth, success, and the real, unfiltered truths of entrepreneurship. No gatekeeping.
No fluff, just the perspective and community that you need to thrive. So if you're ready to surround yourself with women who get it, you're in the right place, and there is already a seat with your name on it.
What's up, Powerhouses? Welcome back to At the Table with Powerhouse Women.
Today, we're pulling up a chair for Sophia Waldman. She has a booming real estate business. She's a wife, a mother. She's one of our Northern California market partners. Welcome, Sophia.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I have been tuning in to the new podcast, and I'm loving all the episodes. So thank you guys for letting me be on.
We are so glad that you're here because we knew, A, you would be hilarious. B, you have so much wisdom, and we know you can yap for forever. And we're so happy for this.
Forever. I'm a yapper, which is why when my son gets in trouble at school for talking, I actually don't care because I was the same way. It's going to take him somewhere far in life.
It really will. Honestly, the people that were told to be quiet often, or that was written on their report cards, you guys are probably doing really well or being an entrepreneur, most likely. You guys can yap your way into everything, which is perfect. Okay, so we're going to start with some founder questions. I'm actually going to start with my own. You exude so much confidence and badassery. Have you always been this way? And if not, was there a turning point that made you that way?
I think I've always been this way. I have 2 brothers, and they were definitely not the protector kind of brothers. They were to a certain extent, but I feel like I was very strong because of that. My mom is very bold. Both my parents are. So seeing that, I feel like the pros and cons to that, right? Because I am very strong, very bold, but there's a soft side of me. And sometimes I do need those like pats on the backs and things that you don't. And I think us women forget that we need, right? Especially in our industry, we're go, go, go. Looking back, I felt like I definitely was the one who would like confront something when you were in even your younger ages. I'm still that way in a different way. I also don't let that kind of energy in my life anymore. I would say from day one, I was pretty bold person. And I try to hide it sometimes, but it's just comes out.
Yeah.
This is what I don't like about it is being bold is so different than being considered a bitch, right? Because that I am not. If anything, I am beyond loving. My love language is gift giving. Not receiving. I love giving and I'm very thoughtful. And people could say that about me. I just won't be quiet if I feel like I need to say something that I feel very strongly about. That misconception really bugs me because I've been called that strong word in the past. And I'm like, you guys actually got it backwards. I'm not that. I'm just a strong woman.
So we had a master class, or we rebranded them, society session the other night, and it was incredible. One of the things that she said was people often confuse being direct with being rude. And it's not being rude, you know? I feel like you're very much that way. You'll say what's on your mind, you'll share your opinion, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like rude or anything.
You'll know when I'm rude. I mean, there is a strong difference. But I think a lot of people don't speak their mind. And I think that really takes people back and they don't like it.
Well, it's not easy for everyone, you know? So honestly, you should feel proud that that's a quality that you have and that you're comfortable. I wish I was more able to speak my mind. I'm trying to get better at it, but it's not easy for me, you know?
Being in real estate has definitely making me kind of like look back and I'm like, okay, you have to adjust per client, right? Your personality, what you would say to one client to another. But I just think that you have to be honest in life and feel it out, right? Feel out like, I'm not rude too often. I'm probably more rude to my husband than anybody, poor guy. But he just is like,
I feel like with significant others, happens
right?
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just
Also take that and they can be like, okay, I hear that tone. What's really going on? And you're like, you know what's really under that? It's X, Y, and Z. If you have a partner, they can take some of that rudeness and be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Where do we actually want to go with this? Like we all can be that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys record that session? I definitely want to go back and listen to it.
We did record. I think you would love it. Rosie was awesome. And I think the majority of people, I actually was dying because there's like half the people will have their cameras off. They'll still be listening. By the end of the call, almost everybody had their cameras on. They're visibly laughing. It was an awesome one. And I think you would just, it reminds me of you. Every market partner call or society session you're on, I can always tell when Sophia has something she wants to say. Yeah. Because it's usually she's like walking on a treadmill or something while she's doing it, and her camera will be wobbly, and she'll be like, hey, come in with her thing. And it's spot on every time. You speak from your chest. You're not meek in any way. You say exactly what's on your mind, and you come across as so confident. Bold is the right word, and it's awesome. Your energy is palpable.
Thank you. The confidence is always there. I definitely wouldn't say I'm a confident person. I speak about what I know and what I know that like I'm confident on, but there's so many other things I'm like not confident in. Is when I, being, a solo agent now, going on my own, I was not confident. I was scared out of my mind. I'm in an area where there's really heavy power hitters. These people have been in the industry for 20 plus years, and I'm not always confident. There's a level of respect that I've been given, I feel like the last 2 years, because I think they now see me not just someone that was on a team, someone who is actually producing, and also I think someone that they really like. I really go out of my way and go to their open houses and their tours and their evening sushi nights. I genuinely like my colleagues, but I wasn't always confident with them. And sometimes I'm still not. But I think when you shift your mind in real estate, that confidence will slowly come through. And I'm working on it. I think everyone's always working on their confidence, especially us women. We're so hard on ourselves.
Truly, yeah. It's like a daily, weekly, yearly practice that you have to keep working on. And some days are a lot harder than others.
I agree.
Speaking of your career, because we're absolutely going to dive into that. We've seen, just in the little bit of time we've spent with you, shifts and changes that are awesome. Diving into Kelsey's question, what has been the biggest highlight so far of your career?
The biggest highlight of my entire career, I'm going to go with my solo career. My career with a partner on a team was great. There were so many highlights. I feel like I had such a great start to my career early on and selling some amazing homes, legacy properties, really. But I would say as a solo agent, I think last year I had a sale with a repeat client who I had helped purchase, and then they bought, and it was around the 9 million range. That definitely boosted my confidence a little bit, but I was proud of it. I wasn't drinking, so I got my non-alcoholic champagne. I was proud of that. I got myself a nice watch. I think the reason why I was proud of it is because I felt confident with my clients. They came with me along the ride, and that's a scary transition that I made. I didn't know, are people going to not want to work with me anymore because I don't have these big numbers, even though I helped them buy the house? Like, there's so much unknown. At the end of the day, I would say last year in general, a lot of the clients who were my repeat clients, their trust along the process of what I was kind of going to in that transition really was pivotal for me. My clients know how much I love and appreciate them. So I don't want to say that there's like one, but that 9 million was pretty great. But I also love all my other price points too. And I wouldn't say lower because every transaction is so big for my clients. So, but that was a good one.
There's nothing better than just feeling deeply proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Especially for that.
And that client was a good friend, a repeat client, and she was so happy. That agent tried to negotiate my commission down a little bit, and I had talked to them about it, and they were like, no. I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. No. And so having that like confidence that like, she's like, you work so hard. So that was good. That was nice. This year, I've had several others that have been really great. I'm just like, just keeping it going, ladies. I'm just like, but also having a good balance. So that's a whole nother thing.
Gia wants to know, what's something that you think people assume about you, and is it accurate?
I guess this could go back to the confidence thing. I'm very forefront and I speak my mind and I will be the first to raise my hand, but I wasn't always like that. There are a lot of times that I do sit back and I will not say anything. You guys might see it at the retreat. I'm definitely not the person that's going to be like, who are you? Who are you? I'm not that person. I kind of want to find my circle and my people, and I'll like tend to kind of just cling to those. So I would say confidence. I'm not confident. If anything, I'm like half the time, like, oh my gosh, I need to do this and get in better shape. I think the biggest thing has always been this up and down. And I just need to feel better in my own skin. That goes back to when I was younger. I've always kind of been this way. So I'm working on that. I am confident in certain things, but I would never say to myself that I'm a confident person.
Interesting, because we view you that way. And I think you should view yourself that way too.
I'm working on it. There are things that I am confident in and I'm proud of, but there's other areas that I need to work on.
Life's a work in progress.
I'm not going to have it figured out at 39 years old.
Well, and you clearly have the self-awareness too, that you're like, okay, I know that about myself and those are things that I'm actively working on. I think we all have things that we are self-conscious about, but having the self-awareness to at least try to reframe that is part of confidence.
Yeah. My trainer's helping me. She's like,
That
"You're doing
will
great."
always help.
And I'm like, I think these days we just are so used to seeing and receiving results like this. And yes, there's ways to go about those results in that kind of way, but I'm trying not to go that route yet, even though I'm always like, how bad can I get stuff here? But I'm like, okay, just keep it going.
Totally. And there's nothing better than like, I try to focus on being intuitive with my body and how I feel. At the end of the day, it's about how you in your own skin and your health. And there's nothing better than that.
I agree.
Okay. Last question is from me. If you could trade lives with anybody for one day, who would it be? Anyone ever?
I recently listened to a podcast and they had Mark Cuban on it.
I've listened to a bunch of stuff with him and
I don't know if that's his name, but he seems so cool. And like everything, he's really diving into the AI world. And I think we all have to be doing that. He said in order for us to move forward in the world, we have to know it. And not just know one portal of it, like know everything. That's so cool. Like he is online checking out and researching and using all of the AI tools.
Good for him.
I guess Mark Cuban, because like I feel like I'm in that like I want to learn more about AI and he's just done so much in his career, but probably someone who plays tennis. It's fun, you know, like he's just like out there having fun and super athletic and like, you know, I have a bad knee. So it's like that might be nice to be able to go around.
to be able to experience.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI, are you diving into AI with your career yet, or even just personal
I
life?
haven't. I would say the last 3 years I've heavily used ChatGPT. I would say the first year kind of like very much just like exploring phase of like basic things. But I would say in the last, since it's been wrapping up and it's so in your face now, which I think is great. I kind of converted a lot of my templates and emails that I have saved in my Dropbox and in folders for listing and buyers. And then I'm putting that into ChatGPT and see what they get, what happens from that. You also like can't depend on it 100% because sometimes it's like, oh, that does not sound like me at all. But gosh, the way that they structure things in a matter of seconds, it's just, it's wild. It's wild in a great way. A lot of people, I think it might take away some jobs and employment, but I don't see it replacing my job. If anything, we need to integrate it more. We're very front facing and we're all relationship, right? And so I don't think that's ever going to be replaced, but why not have a support system and have that technology help you grow your business quickly, right?
Absolutely. You nailed it. These things happen in literal seconds. Sometimes I can be on the go after a showing in the car and I can just record myself, the thoughts, everything that we talked about at the house. And then in a second, it gives the recap in an email. That way I don't have to wait until I get home, type it all out, remember all the thoughts on all the showings. It's boom, it's done.
It's really good. I'm really good about creating new projects in ChatGPT. So like each client has a folder, everything, off markets, whatnot. And so like that content, and then I put random content, like just like random stuff I want to I don't even know what I'm asking, right? I should go in there one day and see what's going on. But so I really do utilize it and organize it. The other day I did a video recording at an off market and I was like, give me, I put in there, give me some talking points for this 1917 home that was sold off market. And I did. And then when we did the, the voiceover, it was perfect.
I have so much to learn when it comes to AI. I'm like, what do you mean folders per client?
That needs to be on your 2020. That needs to be we're all planning for 2026 now, right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Have to be. So that is now I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate. There's so much more to it. This time last year, I went to Chicago. My business coach is based out of there, and he has a retreat for all the agents that he coaches. This team from Florida, they spoke about AI and how they use it. It was next level. I'm not even using it to that level.
We're not even scratching the surface.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And when you really look at it, look at 3-4 years ago. If you're still writing your MLS or even your the text for all your listings, you are in the dinosaur age.
Get out of here.
Truly.
No, absolutely not. That should be plug and play now at this point.
100. No, I do agree with that. 100.
And that's why those folders are so important, right? Because I just take one and make some edits and then dump it into my other folder. So Carly, get on it.
I'm on it, girl. Okay, so you know what? Let's actually backtrack a little bit. We've talked about your career in nuggets here and there, but I think we'd like to start from the beginning. I mean, I really don't know your whole story, which is crazy.
Drama.
So tell us, and I will say we're all completely enamored by you, by just you are the true definition of a powerhouse. You are killing it in business. You are selling so much real estate for one person. I can't even believe it. I think we would love to hear from you, just how you started, your whole journey.
Okay. So real estate journey, always wanted to get into it. Took a little detour when I moved to LA, but I did design there. I worked for Rose Tarlow Melrose House and for interior design, and I did a bunch of other fun stuff there. Came back to San Francisco, worked for an interior designer. I didn't love it anymore. Decided I wanted to be a preschool teacher, went back to school for that. Yep.
Wow.
I was a great teacher. I loved being a teacher. I'm still an advocate for teachers do not get paid enough. And unfortunately, that's why I ended up leaving. Where I live is just so pricey. Got out of that. In the interim of that, I was talking to a friend. He was starting a luxury concierge company. So not just a reservation, me and my girlfriend are flying, need a helicopter from LA or private jet from LA to San Francisco. And we want to be at the French Laundry in 2 hours, ultra high net worth. So because it was brand new and I was single at the time, I would just network. I would literally go out and network. And you go, where do you network? Everyone's like, where do you go network? You go to hotels. You go to the best hotels and you network there. Hands down, that's what you do. Ladies, if you're single, go there. That's where you're going to find.
Amen.
Yeah, on it. Single or not. I mean, you don't have to be single. It is such good networking. The company itself, we kind of weren't really aligned, but I got some really good contacts with some age-old fund investors, who were one of the first funding members of Facebook and all these companies. And I think that's where it incorporated a little bit of real estate was that they were connecting with real estate agents all over. So if someone ever came to us and they were like, oh, we want to buy a house in, I don't know, Amsterdam, I could connect them with someone. So I was starting to learn who different agents were and also how real estate was done in different countries. So different everywhere. Even from me here to Sacramento is so different. I kind of at that point was I'm not really making any money. This is all fun and games, but I need to get into this. So then I started exploring in real estate and I had reached out to when you're out in real estate, you don't know realtors and you're also in your 20s. Nobody really knows a real estate agent when they're in their 20s, unless it's their parents' agent. So I reached out to a local agent and he interviewed me. But then when I got there, he's like, listen, my assistant actually doesn't want to go on her own anymore. I don't really need anybody. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I would say fast forward a month later, I am on my phone and a Facebook message comes up. This woman pops up and she says, hey, I got your information from that one realtor and I'm looking for someone. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know who she is. I kind of knew her last name because it's such a small area over here. Turns out my boyfriend at the time, now husband, had gone to school and used to be friends with her brother. So there was that connection. The only time my husband at the time had only gone to Europe was because it was with their family. So
Oh my God.
super small
Wow.
world. Met with her. We really got along. She had just left a smaller brokerage and went to Keller Williams in a city called Burlingame. And she was trying to grow a team. You know, PW is all about teams. So I kind of just went in as super green. I need to learn the business and go.
How old were you, Sophia, at this point?
28.
Okay.
Yeah, 28. Because when I got a year after getting licensed, this is going to be my 10th year.
Okay.
In real estate.
Amazing.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about real estate. She was successful in her own right, but I think the transition to KW, they kind of pull you in all these different places. I don't think we were selling it. I think our first year was definitely less than 15 million. I remember her and I sitting down and I said, well, where do you get your business? And she's like, San Francisco, because she was at another brokerage in San Francisco, but she sold so much down in the peninsula that she ended up moving brokerages. And I was like, well, and she said this too. She's like, I networked there. And I'm like, well, let's ramp it up. And we did. So we were a good team on that front as far as like, I remember cold calling agents, literally.
Wow, you were a cold caller?
Like just picking up the phone, like, hey, I'm located in Burlingame. I might have a client. And I did it at New York, Chicago, feeder markets, right? Now, I don't think I'm friends with anybody I ever cold called, but it was just kind of making me comfortable with people asking about the market and questions that you just don't know right off the bat. I would say about a year and a half after that, we got offered to go to a franchise of Sotheby's called today Sotheby's. Now it's Golden Gate. Once she got approached, I was like, we have to go. I just knew the Sotheby's auction house and the brand and the legacy and the history. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. We in one day packed up our office and we're out of here. Like I had friends at Keller Williams that were like, did you guys leave? I'm like, did.
Bye.
Bye. So, then I started helping out buyers more. She was really good at, it was her team name, but like always having me on the marketing, always having me on calls, having me on the listing appointments with her, which is great. Like you don't want to just feel like you're just like a team member, right? So I quickly decided that an assistant role is not my role. I'm actually pretty certain I almost deleted a lot of her contacts and our IT guy was able to get them back. I'm just not good at that stuff. Don't put an Excel in front of me. Like, I don't want to do it. Don't.
No tasks.
Don't. So she just knows I sell, right? So when we were at that smaller brokerage or with Sotheby's today, we did great. We went from like 40 to 60. I think we had one year that we kind of went back down a little bit. I think we had our babies that year. And then once we hit 100, we were always told, like, once you hit 100 million, like, you're never going back down. And so we did. I think the last year together, I don't remember, we were at maybe like 120, 130, 140, something like that.
Wow.
Now,
And it was the two of you.
It was just, so we had someone that we brought in to do our social media at the time because nobody was doing social media. I definitely would say we were one of the first pioneers in our area to really utilize social media. We had some other people kind of in and out, but it always just seemed to work, which is her and I. Everything was good until it wasn't. I think we had our kids, priorities changed. You're doing so much. You're not celebrating the wins. You're not giving each other a pat on the back. It's just go, go, go. Looking back, I think if we would have done those things, I really do think we probably still would be together because we did work so well together. And I loved having a partner. Like, I think I talked to her like 50 times a day. We were always talking or working out. We became sisters. We both don't have sisters, so we always joked around like that. When things started to go a little gray, I was getting very, like, why do I have to be the one to talk about this again? Like, why is it always me? When I get silent is not good. Like, Sophia, silent is not good.
I can imagine.
That's also because I was getting very, like I said, very tired of having to be the one to like, okay, like, what are we doing now? And I think she felt I wasn't pulling my weight. Because I also was kind of getting annoyed. I was like, why am I not getting any pats on the backs? Why are we not meeting every Monday anymore? There were so many things that we both were not talking about. Communication is so important. We both lost sight in that. I don't want to speak for her, but I do think that we both have said to this day, I mean, we haven't talked about it in a long time, but after the break, we had several conversations and we both agreed if we would have just taken a break for a week, thought about it, regrouped, we would not have split up. But unfortunately, like we both were she's a very fiery person and I love that about her, as am I. So when but I'm a little bit stronger than her as far as I will say something, confrontation, I don't have a problem with that, where I think she does regret, and she has said that like she should have kind of fought for me. And that made me sad too. It's, seeing a partner of 7.5 years not fight for you.
A long time.
It's a long time. At the end of the day, it came down to dollar signs. That's why our splits, I did have a good split. I mean, she was bringing in all of the business for the most part. And our split was good, but I will stand, very strong too at, even if someone is bringing in the business, if you're closing the deals and you're doing so much of that work and they're still getting a cut on it, which she very much deserved, especially if it was her lead, I think that was fair. I think where she didn't see it as fair is maybe on the listing side, because I was still getting a cut of that. And I was still involved. I liked picking out the light fixtures and going over paints with her, and we would meet the stager and whatnot. But I think, that's just kind of what it came down to. It's unfortunate for it to come down. I'm a big believer of, I didn't grow up with money. I remember always hearing my mom say, how am I going to buy that? Right? You remember those little things as kids. And so for me, for a partnership, for a friendship to end because of money just broke my heart.
But it happens so often in our industry. I think it's so interesting too. Like, one of the first things I noticed getting into real estate, because I worked on a team previously, not for even close to as long as you did, but it kind of like ended poorly. And that was so new to me because I only worked in the corporate world, where any job I left, it was fine. And like I leave and they love me and I could come back at any time, but I realized quickly that in our industry, there's so much emotion. And it's not like your normal split. There's a lot of emotion involved and everyone's pouring their whole lives into this, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like most of the time doesn't end how you think it's going to end.
I think we had seen people and they go through splits and we kind of were like, we're never going to do that. But I think if I look back, I wish every year we would have had, we should have had multiple check-ins. I think every year we should have had a check-in as a whole. Right? What does your split look like? Are you comfortable with that? Should we adjust it? Because people had said to me, because I don't think we had changed our split for almost 3 years. And I was heavily more for the buyers. So in my head, I'm thinking I should have gone to her every year and maybe asked for more on the buy, but then go drastically down on the list or not get anything from the list side. But we never got to a point of discussing that. When we had this big blow up, it came off to her as, I want more money. Whereas for me, it came off, what she was saying to me is, you don't deserve how much you're making. Those two were not good.
But it's just miscommunication, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Communication, that's the thing. So I'm a big cheerleader for her now. She is crushing it. I think she does well over $300 million a year. I think things are never going to be the same, unfortunately, but we're in a place now that I feel so much gratefulness. You know what? Those years were not only fun, we had so many mess ups, so many laughs, and it really got me to where I'm at. And I'm grateful for that. Like, it put some fire under my ass, ladies. Let me tell you. Because when you go on your own, it happened. I literally was gone for a week. We were in combat. And I was like shocked that this just happened. Then we didn't tell anybody. And then when people started finding out, people are like chapping, like they're like little birds saying, oh, she said this, you said that. Her and I finally were like, if there's ever an issue, we are going to each other. Great. If there's ever anything that she wants to talk to me about, she can. If there's ever anything that I want to talk to her about, I will go to her first. Because we have to remember it was always just us and nobody ever really knew what was going on.
That's very important.
Yeah. But the transition, oh my ladies, it was the scariest thing ever. Because you're a seasoned agent, you know what you're doing, but you have to rebrand yourself, right? Her and I went back and forth on some transactions. And I said, I'm open to giving up X for this list of clientele because these people really became my friends. Like, they did. I see them around. When you work with buyers, you're just a lot closer. Sellers, you can, but they're kind of on to their next. it's a little bit different. Buyers, it's like you're in it sometimes for a year looking.
You're like in their family. Like you are a member.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew, so I was like, listen, I hate even treating people like a list, but we kind of have to. And so we did discuss that. And then she did respect that. And then it was like, what do I do?
What would you say looking back at yourself when this happened? And, like obviously you were nervous and felt so many emotions. And now here you are, X amount of time later, crushing it, doing an amazing job. You have this amazing business. What would you tell yourself at that point in time?
I would say like, it's going to work out. What's that like Lil Wayne song? It's like, let it all work out. I'll send it to you. I think because, I had a good cushion. On top of that, ladies, we bought a house that year. Like,
all of the things.
Just to add, switch brokerages. So I had a falling out with that brokerage and they did not support me. Her name was all over everything and she was the top producer and I didn't feel like I got support. I never got let's figure this out. It was if you want to stay, we'll understand, we'll find you an office type of situation. I was like, listen, I've been with the Sotheby's brand for so long. I don't want to leave it. So I decided to go to the corporate office in San Francisco. And I know that manager really well. So I called him and I was like crying. And he's like, come here. I'm like, yeah, but I have no sales because all the sales closed under the team name. So I'm like, I have nothing and so I met with the new manager, Zach, who's like oh my God, Zach's like my angel. And I'm like, what's my split going to be? It was such a roller coaster. And then on top of that, just putting a smile on my face, people started to ask questions. And I tried to keep it very like, oh yeah, it was just time for me to go on my own. But sometimes if it's a good colleague asking me and he catch me on a damn piss, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Like, I'm annoyed. It was her fault. Their blame game. I look back and I'm like, you should have dealt with it a little bit better. I will say that because I am sometimes vomit of the mouth. But I mean, I'm human and I was hurt. If anything, I was so hurt. My heart was crushed.
And there's so many unknowns at that point too. So not only are you hurt from that, but now you have like a little bit of chaos of what do I do next? What are people going to think? What do I tell people? And those what ifs are then spiraling on top of it. We're all human. It happens. And we look back on it. Sometimes we're like, all right, knowing what I know now, I would have done something differently or would have said something differently. But that's not how I felt then.
2023 was a huge transition year. That year was like, I don't know. I look back. I mean, I did some business too. I think I did 14 million in transactions, which I was like, okay, any little thing I could do.
But look at you now. I would have never known that because last year was probably when I met you. I only see you as this badass solo agent. And I'm like, I wish I could be like Sophia someday, God. So look at how far you've come. I mean, it's really like a comeback story.
Thank you. I'd say a comeback story, but also my story. It really shook me and was like, how do you want to look at real estate? I started to look at real estate as she did because I knew nothing else. And so now it made me take a step back. I'm like, how do I want to brand myself? I know how I operate, how we were different in positive ways. I love people. I love pleasing people. That's why I love working with buyers, sellers too, but I love buyers. And I started to love real estate again because those last 2 to 2.5 years, I didn't, and we were selling crazy, like $30 million houses. I liked it, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm excited, or let me like work on my database. Like it was a shit show on the back end. We didn't have any systems and processes in place, very little. And so I would say I fell in love with real estate again. And I look at it in such a different light. It's wild. I'm like 14 million, amazing. If I do 10 million next year, great. I'm not about the numbers. This year, I did not think I was going to surpass what I did last year. Last year, I did 54 million. And right now I'm at 61 million. But it really is because I feel like I let that go. I feel like I don't have that pressure on myself at all. I really don't feel that. And that takes a long time to find that because we all give ourselves that kind of pressure. Wouldn't you agree?
Totally. The amount of pressure that we put on ourselves for sometimes no reason whatsoever. And you keep yourself in your head a lot of the time and you get into a stuck position. You just have to push through it sometimes, but that can be very hard to do.
Yeah. So I would say big advice would be just like go back to your basics and have fun with real estate. Remember when you were young and would stop and just go to lunch by yourself? We have to do those things and meet the people and not be like, okay, now I got to do this. Not like that is crazy. We're human, right? And saying no. Like, so my shift, if anything, that split was the hardest, biggest heartache of my life. Like really, I was talking to a friend because over that time I had some friends that we actually ended up splitting because they ended up working with her and this and that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to really cleanse myself. I circled back with one of them and she was going through a transition. She was at the biggest breakup of your life. You never had a friend break up? And I'm like, no, I've never even had, knock on wood, a close death in my family. That was all of it in one. But it was the biggest blessing. It really was the biggest.
Well, I'm sure you also look back at it now and you're like, okay, like I know how I felt. And now I know that I can handle things like that and I can get through things like that. It's terrible while you're going through it. Like it feels awful, but look what's on the other side, you know?
You could get through anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I did that I'm like, why did I go spend $2,500 on some sponsorship at some random women's something in Palo Alto that made no sense for me? I got nothing out of it because I was trying to do too much. I did 2 mailers and I never stay consistent with them. There goes like $6,000. So I would definitely say if you're going through a transition phase, whether it's real estate or not, just slow down. Like slow down and come up with a game plan.
Take a breath. I think that's
all remind ourselves every week to take a breath in this industry.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, take yourself to lunch. I see a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too every now and then, where I'm running from meeting to meeting. And when I have a break, I'm like, let me see if I can shove something else in there. Instead, I'm like, no, take yourself to lunch. And guess what usually happens? I go to lunch. I meet somebody there, we start talking, we exchange information, that becomes a client. And I'm like, look at what it is to just live your lifestyle. Especially, I feel like you two do this as well. We are living our lifestyle in our area and selling here because we like the area. It's not like we're selling houses in a place we don't like. Exactly. And it's so much more than the house. It's the lifestyle that you get with the house, with the area, with the neighborhood. And so if you're also doing that, you get to share that. You have more wealth of knowledge than just showing you what house you could get.
Or go to lunch with a colleague because then you don't feel bad about being on your phone or stepping away. True. I had lunch yesterday with a colleague of mine and he owns his own brokerage. We just did a deal together, $9 million. He doesn't really sell that much in this area. I had met him briefly when I first got into real estate, but he's a pretty big name. So I was a little bit intimidated. My clients wanted this house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the broker's tour. I'm going to go to the open house. I told him I think I had a couple other closings, so he kind of knew my name. And I lived down the street if you need anything. And a couple times he had pinged me and just said whatever he needed. We went to lunch. We closed the deal. I always send a gift. So I sent him his plan. And he's like, let's get lunch. I want to pick your brain. I'm like, why does he want to pick my brain? But okay. So we had lunch yesterday. He wants to kind of start dipping into my market, which I said, you show it. I would love to work with you. I think he's a little hesitant because we're so close over here. Like he's like, I didn't realize how close this community is. He's like, it's actually a little wild. He's like, we are not like that down there in Palo Alto and Atherton. And I don't sell a ton in Palo Alto and Atherton. I'm like, where is this going? So of course he asked me, he's like, if I open up an office, like, would you? And I was like, I don't think so. I laughed. I'm so loyal to them. And my referrals from the San Francisco office they're so important to me. He's like, I thought I'd ask. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, why don't we do this? Anything you need, send me your list of what your buyer needs are. Why don't we work out like a referral thing for now and then go from there? Because he has a team of like, I think he did 800 million last year. This guy's massive.
Yeah, that's huge.
Huge. And so I think this is also a reminder for us agents. He's trying to slim his business down. Like, I don't need so much overhead. You know, he went through a health situation, years ago. And he's like, that kind of was like my aha. And so that lunch was like such a reminder of one, very I was very flattered for him to reach out and want to have lunch and then see like what could happen, down the road. I don't know that answer. You never know, right? I feel like taking it day by day always. He started this business in 2022. Yeah, 2002. And like, he doesn't even know. So there's always so many uncertainties in our industry. And the people who you think are crushing it, they're crushing it, but they're also longing for the collaboration. We need to remember and we need to do more of. It's collaborating.
Everybody is looking for it deep down. And like you're saying, like, you don't know what's going on behind the surface. At the end of the day, it's connection that really builds relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And when you find that collaboration that works, like all ships rise together. Like if you find your people, and it's okay to also meet people, be like, okay, they're not my person. I wish you well, but like, that's not the collaboration that's here. Yeah. Find your people and you become way more expansive. I was almost the inverse of you guys. I was always solo for about 8 years. I was a solo agent. And then it wasn't until I met DeAndre, we combined businesses and now we're partners. Given 8 years in the business definitely helped scale. But then as soon as we mashed, our business skyrocketed at a point that I was like, I would have never been able to do that. I would have crushed it on my own, but I would have never been able to do that. We were able to multiply each other's business through that. But it doesn't have to be just your industry. It can be the friends you collaborate with and talk to about different things. It can be your personal trainer. It can be the person you go work out with. Whatever it is, sharing that energy truly helps you and them get better.
Yeah, I agree. People work with people who they know, like, and trust. Always.
Yes.
And not just work, not real estate, everything. It's like you're always just being your authentic self, I think, is super important. I always say that, but it's so true.
Yes.
Sophia, I'm sure people ask you this all the time, but you are also a mother.
Yes. I
How do you do it all? Your son is so cute. How do you?
Oh my gosh. He is, I'm not joking. He's the best son ever. He really is. He's so supportive. I take him with me. Since he was a baby, he has gone to open houses. He has met tons of my clients. A lot of my clients have kids. He's COVID, right? So he was born in 2019. So 2020, March, his 1 year. Like, we were his nanny, we did a nanny share. She had to go take care of her kids. So he was with me for like 3 or 4 months. If I didn't have my husband, who's beyond helpful, and my mom and family, tons of family and friends and whatnot, but like my mom and my husband, I would say, like, I don't know how I could do it. I don't have a nanny. I don't really feel like I need one. I mean, it would be nice to have someone like once or twice a week in the mornings, because my husband leaves so early that like mornings are just me. But like, that's just me being like, oh, because I could go to the gym. Like, it's not like I don't need to hire someone for that. I just need to get up and go on my treadmill downstairs. So how do I do it? I mean, I bring him along. I talk to him about my business. I'm Aiden. We're going to go meet this client. They're looking for this house. If I know what their profession is, sometimes I'll say it. He really wants to be an engineer. So one of my clients right now is an engineer. So he'll go and talk to her about, I don't know about what, but he does. And then if I have to write an offer. And then if we get it, I let him know. And he's like, I'm so proud of you. He really gets excited. He likes to take videos. So how I do it all, I mean, it's help. I don't do it all. I really don't. And I'm not trying to do it all.
Were you ever nervous before you were going to have a child? Were you nervous that maybe you wouldn't be able to balance it or that your career would suffer? Or you just knew this is what you were meant for?
No, I wasn't nervous. You're going to figure it out. Like, there's no reason to like get nervous. I was a nanny for many, many years. So I kind of was like, okay, I kind of got the kid thing down. I wasn't worried about that, but I didn't know what kind of kid I was going to have. Right. Like my kid could have like been colicky or he's healthy and that's all that matters. I never had it in my head if I wanted 1, 2, 3, or 4 kids, but after having one, I was like, I think that's all I can handle. I think that is where, if I wasn't in this business, I'd probably have more kids. 7 days a week. You guys know this. It's all game, And so I think He's just my perfect child. I don't regret, like, I don't look back and I'm like, oh, I should have another, or I miss out on having another. I don't. Because I also love my business. But I'm kind of just starting off. It's been 10 years, but I feel like I'm just getting started.
You are.
Yeah.
You know?
I cannot wait to see, even in the next year, let alone the next decade, what you do. Because I'm sure there's going to be more milestones that are broken. I can see you coming into yourself being so confident, taking risks and trying new things. And I love that you're bringing your son into your world too. I think that's something I see a lot. Not that I'm around a lot of kids. People know that I'm a child-free person. I love kids for other people. I don't want them for me. But that is the biggest thing that I see with parents is there's this separation between the people who bring their kids into their world and kind of immerse them into it so that you do have the support. Their brain is soaking all of this up and growing. And that's probably a huge reason he's so amazing, because you are bonding with him and learning with him in such a way. And then I see parents that it's like kids time and adult time, and they don't really mesh them together. I'm like, oh, you're missing such a big piece. That's so powerful.
It's hard. It's hard, though. I do feel like I do need to, like, I mean, my husband and I don't go on date nights, not because we don't want to, but it's like, well, you just bring Aiden because he's just so easy and he's so good. So as much as I do mesh him, there has to be that balance too, you know?
Very true.
I do. I mean, Morgan, you're right. My clients love it. They love when I bring him. Like, love it. You know?
And
I mean,
they're getting to know you even deeper.
And they see me as a mom, but I mean, I'm like letting him know as we're driving there, like, we're meeting a new client. You need to sit there, take mama's phone, and you're going to videotape all the bedrooms and then give me a recap. Like, I have to set the tone because he's getting older and he likes to ask a lot of questions, right? Very much like no, very on brand. Oh God. Actually, ladies, my husband talks. If you put me next to my husband, I literally don't say anything. No, I swear I don't. Because when I'm by myself or when I'm with my parents, I don't talk a lot. I really honestly don't. My husband, even my mom, I'm always like, Aiden, land the plane. Or like, you are capped out for the day. You have no more words.
No more words.
No more words. Yeah, no more.
Oh, I love it.
Need more Sophia and Aiden content. I would love to see behind the scenes of him at showings with you.
I think I posted one video and it was his idea. He was like, I want to do it. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll post it. I talked to other moms in the industry that are local, and there are a few that got started when their kids were little. I would say a majority when they were older. And it's kind of good to hear that and how you juggle it. But if somebody says they do it all, that's a complete lie. You have to have help. I think there will be a time where he starts doing multiple sports, and then there's the homework. I might need, just like what I was in high school. I helped families that would just drive their kids around and things like that. The older he gets and the different ages, I'm just trying to figure it out. But I'm also having me time. I'm a big me time person.
I love me time.
I go to Chicago tomorrow, but my coaching stuff doesn't start till Sunday night. But I'm going.
Love it.
I like quiet time. I like me time. I am a big work from bed kind of person, which I know is wild, but I just love being in my cozy clothes. As soon as I get home, I jump in like my clean pajamas or my clean robe, because I have several robes, and I will just like knock it out on my computer in bed. My husband, like when he's like sees my numbers, like tax season, because I don't like really talk about too much. He's like, you're always working in bed or on the couch. I'm like, yeah.
True advice, real estate powerhouse.
Yes.
I'll get out there and I'll go on my walks and whatnot. But like, you know, I definitely am just trying to, I'm like you, I'm just trying to, we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to figure out how to have an awesome career, a beautiful life, mesh all of the things together. And we're all just doing it for the first time and figuring out how it works for us.
Mistakes along the way. And I think not comparing. I think what I love about Powerhouse, you guys are so amazing. Like the content and the this and the that. You guys have inspired me to post more. Someone posted something the other day and I need to read it, but I'm like, hashtags are going to be gone. Like, that's the only thing I know how to do. Like, don't take those away from me.
I think, yeah, your content is so good. In fact, even some of your posts recently, I'm pretty sure it was either with a list agent, it was two agents, the buyer side, And I don't think you're even in the same brokerage, but you guys did a collaborative post together, which was awesome because you don't see that happen in many areas at all. Because the other side, even if you're friendly, they're like, we're in 2 different brokerages, 2 different teams. Like, we're not doing that. And I saw that. I was like, that's incredible because that collaboration, like your business is so much bigger than just you. Because you make those connections. And that is so powerful. That trickles down to your clients, your family, your friends. And I saw that through one video.
That Ellen's idea. It's her birthday today. So I'm going to send her some flowers because she's just one of my favorite agents. She's been in this business for so long. I look up to her. She's like, we should do some video. I'm like, okay, let's do it. The day I got there, she had cookies. She's like, oh, I baked these for Aiden. I'm like, oh, God, thank you. I know any house that she has that I could write on, I'll most likely get an opportunity. Or that is where I see and have always seen real estate very different. It's not just transactions. I'm not a transactional agent. I have clients that have said this to me. They know it. If this house is not a fit, you are not getting it. I will talk you out of it. We're going to wait for the one. So yeah, that collaboration over competition is like, people need to remember that.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because you get those phone calls about off markets.
Yes, you do. You get way more opportunities that way.
Yeah, way more opportunities. That's what this is all about, our business.
Yes.
So we end every episode with a hot take. I have one today. Morgan probably has one too.
Go for it, Carly.
Okay. So my hot take, coming from a person who doesn't consume any form of caffeine, is you don't need coffee. You don't need caffeine. And I'm sick of hearing people say it like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't have my coffee. Like, no, you're not. I live my life this way every day.
I don't drink coffee either.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had coffee for 2 days.
What are you doing?
I am trying to figure out if I have a thyroid issue or if I'm just not eating enough and drinking for a few days. Then I would have my cup of coffee and then it would be like noon. I'd have a second cup of coffee and I still wouldn't have had any food. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's why I don't feel great. Let's change this.
Wow.
So I decided I'm cutting out coffee, but it's only been 2 days. But I do feel great.
I'm so addicted to it. I love the taste of coffee. So I drink decaf. I drink a decaf latte almost every day, and people find it so weird. But it's like, if you like the experience and the taste of coffee, you can still do it. You're not going to die if you don't have caffeine. You'll just have natural energy and feel good in your body. Imagine that.
True.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think mine is, I don't know about you guys, but I was always told growing up that a salary job is the most stable thing you can do. In my opinion, I don't think salary jobs are actually that stable. I've seen that time and time again, whether it was with COVID or government furloughs or anything like that.
Yeah.
I remember all of these times in my life where everybody was worried about me. I think DeAndre just heard me say that. He goes, word. I have seen things, whether like COVID was a great example. I had so many deals cancel right at the beginning because buyers lost jobs. They were always the salaried employees. And then I was the one, everybody was worried about me. I was fine. Anybody who was an entrepreneur doing their own business, they were fine. In fact, they even grew. They pivoted and figured it out. And so that's my hot take. I don't think a salary job is safe.
Hey, only because I was just talking to another mom about this, playdates. There's, especially at my son's age, like, I don't want to sit there. Here's the thing. Drop your kid off. My house is so safe. I will supply all the good snacks, but I got work to do. So I need your kid to play with my kid, and I can't entertain you.
Is that a thing that most of the time, because Morgan and I obviously don't have kids, so most of the time you also are like hanging out with the parents?
Yes. Which, mind you, is fine because there's a lot of parents that I like. If it's a friend, that makes sense. But
you're busy.
Kindergarten, first grade, like one time I had Aiden's school friends. He had a play date with his friend. And then the mom said she couldn't make it. And then the dad said he could, but then he had to also bring the other son. that was older. So I was like, oh God, now I have to make this nice charcuterie plate. I do like a cute one for kids. I've always done that for Aiden. I should post more about them. At one point, the dad was cool. So I was like, I gotta like get this offer going.
You're like, I got business to attend to.
I got business to do. Yeah. I would say play dates. They're a little overrated. Just drop it.
I feel that even though I don't have kids, I can imagine that. And that exhausts me just thinking about anything to do that. So I get it.
I just don't do them. I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
You got shit to do.
Yeah. No. Even yesterday, because tomorrow Aiden has off. I'm gone. A mom reached out, one of Aiden's good friends, was like, if want to go to the park. And I was like, Alan's in charge. And Alan's like, I don't want to go to the park and just sit with her. He likes her too. Like he really, really does. Like we love her. But he's just more of like, I'd rather just go and take Aiden and go do our own adventure. And that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
And it's nothing personal. We actually love all of our Aiden's friends' parents, but
it's just like when you're an adult and people ask you to hang out, you'd rather be alone sometimes.
Totally.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it is good to say no.
Yes, exactly.
So it was amazing having you today, Sophia.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome. Where can everyone find you, connect with you?
Find me on Instagram, Sophia Waldman _real estate. If you're ever in the Bay Area, come visit. I am in the suburbs of San Francisco. So San Francisco is like 15 minutes from me, 20 minutes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you guys soon.
That's a wrap on this episode of At the Table with Powerhouse Women. Thanks for tuning in. If you love today's conversation, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Your support helps us keep pulling up more seats at the table.
Want to keep the conversation going? Join the movement at powerhousewomen.com/society.
And connect with us on Instagram at Powerhouse Women.
Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and remember, there's always room at the table for you.